Yeah. My name is Sigler, and right now what I'm going to do is show you what some important tools are in the Wiccan Neo-Pagan religion and what they mean. Alright, so in any ritual you have to start off by making the space around you a sacred space, and it's called a circle. And how you do that is by getting rid of all the negative energy in the area and creating the circle and making it a safe space. And you can do that with sage, which is an herb known to get rid of negative energy. Another important tool is our virgin candles, like candles that haven't been used yet, because then if they were used for another purpose, and it completely defeats the purpose of using them for this specific reason, which is bringing all the elements together. So that's why there's 5 of them, which is they stand for North, South, East, West, and Spirit, and that's also also Earth, Air, Fire, and Water. Another important part is the athame, which is a ritualistic dagger, which is double-sided, and usually has a black handle, but this one doesn't, but it doesn't really matter. And it's not used to cut anything in the physical world. It's used as to cut a doorway. If you have a circle going, that means you invoked the spirit or deity that you wanted to contact and called the elements within the circle and created a safe space. And if you needed to leave for any reason, you can cut a doorway with it. And it's a symbol of masculinity, so that's that would be representing the god. And what would be representing the goddess would be a cauldron, which is basically a womb, and you can put incense in it that apply to whatever spell you're doing, and which you could also put the sage in to create a safer space. Crystals are also important, depending on what you wanted to do. Like if you wanted to do a love spell, you could use rose quartz. And then you have to have a statue or something symbolic of a god that you worship, or a god that is relevant to what you're doing. We have that. And we have the chalice, which is a cup that's basically filled with water or wine, and it's basically after the circle's cast, you can bless it, and then everybody drinks out of it, and then that's you taking in the god and goddess and becoming one with them to make your magic more potent. We also have a bowl of water right here and a bowl of salt, and instead of using sage to create a safer space, you can just put the salt in the water and sprinkle it on everywhere, every corner, north, south, east, and west, and or on the people to rid them of any negative energy. Oils are also really important. There's a million kinds of essential oils, but you can anoint the candles with them to also make the experience more meaningful and significant. So again, if you were doing a love spell, you would use rose oil. So right now what I'm going to show you is how to do a really quick and easy love spell. So what you would do usually is you would call the 4 corners, and there's an incantation for it, but I'm not going to do it right now. But you would call that in, and then you would call the goddess and god into the circle, and then you would light the candles. So you have that one. That one. And then you would take some sage and get rid of all of the negative energy in the area, so you can do that. And then you can put it on yourself. And then you would have things which I guess could be called offerings. So what I have here is a talisman, which is basically made out of clay, and it has a pentacle on it, which is just a star and a circle. And it represents the elements and the goddess and god. And so you would bless that, and if you had rose quartz right here, you would bless that too. And then the oils. So then you have that, and then the oil can go on the talisman because it's clay, and the oil would absorb into it, and we'd be using rose oil for a love spell. And then what you could do is you take a little baggie, like that, and then you just leave it open, and you would bless that too, obviously. Everything that's going into it has to be somewhat like blessed and made sacred. And the last thing you would need is a piece of paper and a permanent like form of like, I guess like ink or anything, and you could write a love letter to the person that you wanted to cast the spell on, or it's not really on them, it's more of putting all of the energy out into the universe and it coming back to you. So you could write a letter to them, or what I would do is you just take it and you can just draw a heart on it. And then you would close that, and then you can hold it to your heart and say anything that you wanted to say, that, or like a spell that you wrote to make it more meaningful. Or you can just hold it and have like, put your energy into it. And then you would put it in the spirit candle. Like that. And you just let the ashes burn. Alright. I'm gonna catch myself on fire. Alright. And once that's going, you would take your athame and you would put it in the salt for earth, into the incense or sage for air, into the candle for fire, into the water for water, and then you would put the ashes on the knife, like that. You can put it down there, and you would just take your little baggie, and you would put the rose quartz in it, and then the talisman that you would put the oils on. And then you could also put herbs in there, or something that was symbolic of love, like rose petals. And then you would take the ashes and put it in there. And then you would seal it. And you would, after that, you would hold it to your heart, and then you can give thanks to the god or goddess of love, which you could use Aphrodite or whichever god or goddess that you worship. And then you could do a lot of things with it. You could carry it around, you could bury it and plant rose seeds on top of it, and basically after that you can do whatever you want. And it's called a mojo. It's a weird name, but that's what they're called. A lot of people usually just carry them around, and hopefully the universe gives them what they asked for. And after you're done with everything, before you leave, you can't just cut the door with this. You have to thank all the elements for being here, earth, air, fire, water, and most importantly, the god and the goddess that you asked for. And that's basically it.